The Cavs have completely changed the way they play this season, and it's paying off big time. Some fans might think that this team has just gotten hot and will likely fizzle out when push comes to shove. But we're here to tell you that this is absolutely not the case. The way the Cavs are playing this year is completely different than they've played in the past, and that begins with the players on the court. The Cavs aren't built around a superstar. Contrary to the belief of many fans, or at least fans that haven't watched them enough this season in comparison to the last couple years. Cleveland rallies heavily on their big four, consisting of Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. Interestingly, all of these players have completely transformed their games this season, in ways that some fans maybe haven't noticed. The past couple years, Cleveland has been elite on defense, but pretty mediocre on offense. So despite averaging nearly 50 wins per season while suffering tons of injuries, ownership canned former head coach JB Bickerstaff and brought in a particularly polar opposite coach in Kenny Atkinson. JB Bickerstaff's coaching system, known as the grit and grind style, emphasized toughness and long possessions on both ends of the floor. On defense, it worked great. In 2022-23, when they were healthy, Cleveland had the best defensive rating in the NBA, an identity they could hang their hat on. But on offense, Bickerstaff's system left a lot to be desired. It included a whole lot of screens up top for Mitchell to just force his way into spots and score as their primary option. A bit of solo ball. It made for boring basketball. In 2022-23, the same season they had the best defense, the Cavs ranked dead last in pace. To put light on the stark contrast between Kenny Atkinson's system he's running this year and Bickerstaff's of years past, let's highlight 5 numbers from last year's team compared to this year's team. The numbers that stand out brightest are not actually the assists and three-pointers, even though Cleveland is getting tons of credit for their ball movement and shooting this season, and rightfully so. I mean, they have the highest three-point percentage in the league this year. But what's led to that is a fast-paced, high-octane style of play that has prevented teams from properly setting up defense and matching up against the quick and athletic Cavs. By attacking their opponents and playing aggressively on the defensive end, the Cavaliers are getting a lot more easy buckets in transition. And impressively, while playing at a significantly faster pace, the Cavs have been far more efficient on offense, even in the turnover department, which leads us to their veteran leader and franchise cornerstone, Donovan Mitchell. Donovan's game has changed pretty drastically compared to last year. Before we get into that, we just want to take a quick moment to point out how underrated and impressive Mitchell's career has been thus far. You might be surprised to see that throughout his entire career, Donovan Mitchell has consistently won during the regular season at a remarkably consistent rate. This list here consists of all active players with a minimum 400 games played in their career that have averaged at least 20 points per game through their career. And they are ranked in regular season winning percentage. As you can see, Mitchell is in elite company. He stepped right into the league and became the leading scorer for a competitive Utah Jazz team, and has consistently improved every season since. For those of you who want to claim that he isn't clutch or doesn't step up in the playoffs, we'd suggest otherwise. Actually, check out Mitchell's career regular season stats compared to his playoff stats. He almost always elevates his game when it matters most and regularly puts up elite scoring numbers. Here's a list of every NBA player in history that has played in at least playoff games and has averaged 28 points per game or more. There is no denying that Mitchell should be feared come playoff time. Right now, Mitchell is 28 years old and playing on the top-ranked team in the NBA. He's surely in his prime. Yet, if you compare his numbers to seasons past, at first glance, you can't help but notice a decline in some major statistical categories. However, let's first focus on some metrics that Mitchell is posting career highs in. He's turning the ball over less than any other season of his entire career by a long shot. And he's shooting from downtown better than he ever has before. He isn't shooting more threes than he has at other points of his career. But for the first time in his career, more than half of his field goal attempts are coming from beyond the arc. So he's proportionately taking more threes than ever before and hitting them at a higher rate than ever before. The question is, what has led to the drop in total points? The truth is, this isn't solely Mitchell's team anymore. He's willingly passing the torch to up-and-comers like Evan Mobley and Darius Garland for the betterment of the group, the sign of a true leader with more IQ than ego. This season, Mitchell has his lowest usage rate since his rookie season. If we look at the totals, he still has the highest usage rate of any player on the team, but that doesn't actually indicate that he's the focal point of the offense anymore. Before going further, let's be crystal clear about what usage rate really means. Usage indicates the percentage of possessions that a player is on the court that ended with him taking a shot, turning the ball over, or getting fouled. So how often are you the last player that touches the ball on your team? What it doesn't consider is how often you flipped it to a teammate for an assist. Assist percentage indicates just that. So if we look at the Cavs' usage as well as their assist percentage rankings, it becomes clear that Mitchell and Darius Garland have become co-stars and co-leaders on offense. This year, Garland, who is now 25 years old, has become one of the elite on-ball guards in the league. Garland is playing with an incredible amount of pace, confidence, and swagger this season. His 3.8 three-pointers per game at 436% are both higher than Mitchell's three-point numbers in the best season of his entire career shooting-wise. Garland has also been more efficient from two-point range than Mitchell, albeit with less attempts, and is the team's top playmaker by a significant amount. Mitchell still leads the team in shots, but has allowed Garland to blossom into a legitimate co-star, and it can be argued that this year, Garland has even been playing better than Mitchell thus far. The two guards, though both undersized, love playing off each other and are a dynamic duo that should be feared as we inch closer to the playoffs. But what if I told you that neither of these players were the most important players on the Cavs right now? Because that very well could be their starting power forward, Evan Mobley. At 23 years old, the 6'7" Mobley is the youngest player in the Cavs starting lineup, but he actually might be the most important piece due to his two-way abilities. And this year, he's taken the game to new heights. Mobley is possibly, I take that back, probably the most skilled and coordinated young power forward in the entire NBA, a title that used to be held by Anthony Davis. Mobley is most dominant on the defensive end, where he uses his length, coordination, and timing to impact plays all over the court. Unlike the stereotype regarding most 7-foot rim protectors, Mobley, along with his partner in crime, Jarrett Allen, don't only block and impact shots close to the bucket, they are also top perimeter defenders in the league as well. Both guys can move, switch, and defend any position. Their chemistry, length, athleticism, and skills make the Cavs one of the toughest teams to score against in the half court in the league. And while Mobley continues to develop into a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, his biggest improvement this season could be on the offensive end. Mobley is confidently putting the ball on the floor, taking big shots and scoring timely buckets. An intelligent young player who has always prided himself in making the right play even as a highly touted young prospect. Nowadays, the right play is more and more often to create offense himself, whether attacking the rim or sniping off a jump shot. Actually, Mobley has extended his range. He used to be a non-threat from the three-point line, and now he's elite in that category. Mobley is a ticking clock right now, because it seems like it might be a matter of time before he's one of the elite superstars in the NBA. Remember, he's just 23, so he'll continue to improve for another 5 years or so if he remains healthy. As briefly mentioned, Jarrett Allen has been a major reason why Mobley has gotten more opportunity. Like Mobley, Allen is a near 7-footer who does most of his damage on the defensive end. Allen has sacrificed offensive looks this year, similarly to Mitchell, in order to give Mobley a bigger piece of the pie. But Allen remains amongst the most talented and efficient centers in the league on both ends of the floor. On offense, not many players consistently score as Allen has a high field goal percentage. He's just incredibly efficient with his touches. Whether finishing or making the extra pass, Allen rarely makes mistakes, which has contributed to him having the best offensive rating per 100 possessions in NBA history. And he's just as intelligent and efficient on the defensive end too. We talked about how quick and physical he is, which allows him to guard the interior and perimeter at such a high level. He also plays high-level defense while rarely committing fouls. This season, the only two players in the league averaging 10 rebounds per game and less than 2 personal fouls per game are Jarrett Allen and Anthony Davis. And get this, it's the 4th season of Allen's career he's putting up that stat line. That makes him the second player in history to average over 10 rebounds and less than 2 personal fouls in 4 seasons, along with Wilt Chamberlain. All championship aspiring teams need some Swiss Army knife type players that can play off ball and defend, and Jarrett Allen is exactly that. Remember, Allen is also just 26 years old and continuing to improve. It's very possible that the Cavs are developing into a juggernaut to be reckoned with before our very eyes, and remain on the up and up. Yet the league isn't giving them credit yet. Beyond their big four, the Cavs are filled with depth. Karis LeVert, George Niang, Dean Wade, Max Strus, Sam Merrill, and Isaac Okoro round out a group of players that make up one of the best supporting casts in the entire league. But we want to know what you guys think. Are the Cavs legit contenders? Have they hit their peak yet? Let us know what you think in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more sports news and highlights. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.